Hello and welcome all of you to Unacademy. Unacademy, a place where you can crack your 9th and 10th examinations with top educators, quality content, and great learning experience. And with Unacademy, you get the access to unlimited live and recorded courses from India's best educators. You heard that right. Therefore, I welcome you all on Unacademy. But first, let me introduce myself. I am Tasneem Ahmed and I have completed my Master's and MPhil in English. I have also been certified in TESOL and I have trained 1,000 plus students and I have 8 years of professional teaching experience. Therefore, be rest assured you are in good hands. In this video, we will be learning about another punctuation mark, which is the apostrophe, which is either supposed to be used with just the apostrophe or the letter S. We will be learning the usage, the rules of the punctuation mark apostrophe. But first, let me give you a little insight on what you can expect with Unacademy. Well, for starters, you have daily live classes where you can chat with your educator, engage in discussions, ask your doubts, and answer polls all while the class is going on. And then you have live tests and quizzes where you can evaluate your preparation with our regular mock tests. And then you have structured courses. And then finally, you have the unlimited access. One subscription gets you access to all our live and recorded courses to watch from the comfort of any of your devices. All you have to do is buy the subscription and get the free live classes and prepare with top educators and get the comprehensive syllabus of mathematics, social science, Hindi, science, and English. You can also talk to us on Telegram application. By downloading the Telegram application, type the link in URL and then click on join and then you can chat with us. The next is you have to install the Unacademy learning application on any one of your devices. Download the application and then buy the courses from the available subscriptions. You have 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, and 48 months. Well, each and every course given over here has the maximum amount of discount that we can offer. If you pick 12 months, you will get 50% discount, but there is additional 10% discount with the code TA01. That means 50 plus 10, which is 60% of discount on the 12-month subscription, and you get this subscription for only 1,125. That is correct, 1,125, and you are good to go for 1 whole year with the maximum amount of discount. If you are a 9th grader, 10th grader, 11th grader, or 12th grader, all you have to do is buy one of the subscriptions from the available subscriptions which are already on the maximum amount of discount. And with the code, which is TA01, remember the code TA01 is going to get you extra 10% off discount on the available discount, which means if you have 64% of discount plus 10, that makes 74% of discount. That is correct. Remember the code when you are buying, that is TA01, and proceed to pay. Type the code and pick the subscription that you want to buy and buy the subscription and become the subscriber of Unacademy today and crack those exams. Now let us move on towards today's video, and today's topic is the apostrophe, which is another punctuation mark which we use in our English writing. It is used to show possession and contraction. What is possession? Possession is when you show the ownership or the belongingness to somebody or something. Now this is how it looks. It comes on the top. It is more like a comma, but comma is something that you use down below, but then apostrophe is used on the top like this, and then you add a letter S to it. Now the basic. Now let us first learn about the possessions, like how we use an apostrophe when it comes to display the possession. Like I told you, possession means showing ownership. How is that going to be identified in a statement? let us take this example, which is Johnny's book is on the table. Now, when I said Johnny's book, you can see that we have used a comma up over here, and then we have used the letter S. This is what is called as apostrophe S. This is not, yeah, one second. Yeah, this is how you were supposed to put, this is what is apostrophe and then S. When you display the usage of apostrophe and letter S in a statement, it shows possession. When you analyze the statement, Johnny's book, as in whose book? Who's the owner of that book? Johnny. Johnny is the owner of the book. So rather saying Johnny, the book belongs to Johnny, you are just replacing that word belongs to Johnny by just the indication of the comma, which is apostrophe and then letter S. This is what is called as apostrophe S, and this shows possession. This is one of the functions. The other functions will be discussed with you very soon. Well, number one, let us carry on with the possessions first. So Johnny's book is on the table. Number two, Emily's dress was soiled, as in the dress which belonged to Emily. Emily is the owner of that dress. So rather saying Emily is the owner, or rather saying the dress which belongs to Emily, we are saying Emily's dress was soiled. Similarly, Remy's bike. Whose bike? Remy's bike. So rather saying the bike which belongs to Remy, we are just using the apostrophe and the letter S. So this is the standard rule. This is the basic rule wherein you just add the apostrophe and letter S to show the possession or the ownership. But there are a few rules to how there are different types of nouns that we have, and you need to know how to use the apostrophe and the letter S with those. So I'm going to take you through a few examples and clarify that for you. Number one, singular noun ending in letter S. That is correct. Now, what is an apostrophe? Usage of comma and then S, right? But what are you going to do when you already have a noun ending with the letter S? Now, that's pretty confusing, right? Well, listen to me carefully. When you have singular noun, in that situation, you can either put the apostrophe and add S, or just add the apostrophe alone and eliminate the letter S altogether. Both are accepted concepts. Both would be considered grammatically correct. That is, you can either go with. But the condition is if the noun is singular and if it ends with the letter S. In that particular scenario, you can either go with an apostrophe and letter S, which is totally accepted, or you can go with just the apostrophe alone and eliminate the letter S. Option is yours. Whichever you find is okay, you can go ahead with that. So both are accepted concepts. Like, for example, Chris. Chris is a name and it is ending with letter S, and we have used the apostrophe and we have used S. Or Chris just with the apostrophe, which is totally agreed as well. Chris' bicycle is missing. Next one, class. The class's attendance needs to be taken, or the class's attendance needs to be taken. Now over here, class is a singular noun. You can see that over here we have used both the apostrophe and letter S, and here we have only used the apostrophe alone. Both are accepted concepts. You can go ahead with either of your choice. The same is with the bus. Apostrophe S, just the apostrophe, no S. So this is one of the rules. Now, number two is when you have a plural noun ending with S. Now, this is another tricky concept. Earlier, you had a singular noun which ended with letter S. Now, you have a plural noun which ends with S. Now, what are you going to do in this particular situation? Now, here, there is only one option. You do not have two options like the way you had it in singular. Singular is okay. You can either go with apostrophe S or you can go with S. But that's not the case with plural nouns ending with letter S. That is, you can only go with one option, that is apostrophe alone. S should totally be ignored or totally be eliminated, which means you have to use it like this. The boys' party night was real fun. So here you have a plural noun and then you have the possession as well, which is with the apostrophe, but you are not going to use the letter S, which you are going to totally eliminate it. So S should not be used with plural nouns ending with S. Remember that. The other example, the bicycle's tires alone were stolen. The girls' room was a mess. You can see that there is an apostrophe here, but no S. So remember, when you have plural nouns, go with only apostrophe. When you have singular nouns, go with your choice, either S or apostrophe alone. Now, this is the case with plural nouns ending with S. But there is another scenario when you have plural nouns ending without S. That is, when you have nouns like these, plural nouns like oxen, women, mice, or feet. All these are your plural nouns, but then there is no letter S at the end. They end without S. In that situation, you just go ahead and take the basic rule, that is apostrophe S, apostrophe S, apostrophe S, apostrophe S. Just the general rule, just the standard rule, and you are good to go. As in, oxen's tails were on fire. Women's jewelry was stolen. The mice's food was poisoned. My feet's injuries have worsened. So all you have to do over here, when you do not have letter S and you still have a plural noun, is go with the standard rule of apostrophe and add the letter S. The next rule is with the compound nouns. What is a compound noun? Compound noun is a combination of 2 or 3 words like this. Now, daughter-in-law. Now, daughter-in-law is one noun, but it is a compound noun because it has more than one word. That is daughter-in-law. So it is your compound noun. So the question is, what or how are you going to show possession when it is about a compound noun? Well, the rule is when you are going to add, it is definitely going to take the basic rule of apostrophe and then letter S, but where? Where is the question? The answer is at the end. Now, this is your principal word. This is your main word of your compound noun, but using the apostrophe is supposed to be done at the end and not with the principal word. If suppose you add letter S over here, this shows the plural of it. It is plural now. When you are converting a compound noun, if you remember, if you have watched my video of singular and plural nouns, I have discussed about compound nouns in that video as well, wherein I have told you that when you are converting a compound noun into a plural, you add the letter S to the principal word, which is the main word. But if you are trying to show the possession and if you're using the apostrophe, it has to be at the end. So this is really important for you to understand. Plural, principal word, apostrophe, last word. This differentiation should be remembered. Now, in this situation, in second sentence, well, let me read the first sentence for you. My daughter-in-law's cousins have arrived from Delhi. And the second one, both my daughters-in-law's families stay far away from here. Now, here we are talking about 2 daughter-in-laws, not just one, daughters-in-laws. We are also pluralizing the compound noun and we are also showing the possession over here, as in they're talking about the families, their families. So we are going to use it like this. Daughters-in-laws' families stay far away from here. Another example would be passerby. And we have used the apostrophe at the end, which is passerby's bag fell off while he was rushing to catch his train. Another example, the officer in charge. Now, this is your compound noun, and to show the apostrophe, you use apostrophe and then letter S at the end. Supposing if you have to pluralize this word, you are going to use the letter S for the principal word. Remember this, officers in charge or officer in charge. You wouldn't say officer in charges. In charges would actually mean that you are showing possession. The officer in charge's duty is to manage the crowd. So remember this formula, because this is really, it's pretty confusing, but again, with a little bit of practice, you will be able to master it. So that's the rule of compound noun. The next one is when you have to show the combined possession or ownership of something or someone. You add the apostrophe S to the last noun in the list. That means, now let us take this example, Penny and Amy. Over here you have number 1 and Amy as number 2. You have 2 nouns. And now you have to show the possession about something which belongs to both of them, Penny and Amy both. So in this situation, you have to add the apostrophe at the to the noun which is at the end, as in Penny and Amy's. You wouldn't add the apostrophe here. You can though, but in case if you do that, it means that you are trying to say that Penny. Now this statement says Penny and Amy's room was on fire, right? Now this means that both of them were in same room and the room was on fire. Now supposing if you had used as like this, Penny's and Amy's room. In this situation, you're trying to say that Penny is in a different room and Amy is in a different room, which means that you're showing possession to 2 different rooms, which is totally accepted. But if you are not trying to show that, and if you're trying to say that Penny and Amy are living in same room, in a single room, then it is appropriate to use the apostrophe only at the person at the end, which is Amy. So Penny and Amy's room was on fire. Sheldon and Amy's car is broken. Now there is one car and Sheldon and Amy both use that car, one car. Both of them are the owners of the car. Therefore, Sheldon and Amy's car is broken. Sammy and Wendy's kitchen is a great place to dine in. So Sammy and Wendy, both of them own one diner. Therefore, we say Sammy and Wendy's. You wouldn't use it over here. If in case you do, that means that Sammy owns another diner and Wendy owns another diner. But that's not what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that one diner which is owned by Sammy and Wendy. Hence, the apostrophe is added at the end, or the name which comes at the end. Even if supposing if you have another name over here, like let's assume Ben, Sammy, Ben and Wendy. So here, doesn't matter how many nouns you are using, use the apostrophe. Supposing if the possession is supposed to be showed for all of them together owning one particular thing, then it has to be at the end, or else you can go separately. The next one is apostrophe. Excuse me. Apostrophe is also used to form the plural of numbers and letters. So when you are converting the numbers and letters into plurals, you go ahead with the apostrophe. You do not just go and add letter S and pluralize that, but instead you use the apostrophe and you use letter S like this. India wasn't this progressive back in 80s. So you're trying to say 80s, you're trying to make this as a plural. So you are putting the apostrophe and adding letter S. So that's the right way of using that. Similarly, you have letters like A and Z. You have to make them as plural. So you use A and S, and similarly Z and S. So the A's are in uppercase and the Z's are in lowercase. So when you are pluralizing, remember pluralizing the numbers and letters, you use apostrophe and S to make them plural. The next rule is when you are using the expressions of time, value, and distance, take the apostrophe and S with them like this. My hometown is just half an hour's drive from here. Now over here, this is the time duration that you are talking. You're talking about the duration over here. Therefore, you are using the apostrophe S like hours. So you are going to say hours and you will use the apostrophe here. My hometown is just half an hour's drive. That is the time duration. Similarly, they have deducted a week's pay. Again, the time duration. They have deducted a week's pay. Here you can see that there is the noun and then the apostrophe and then s. Next one is, it is hardly a dime's worth. Now here it is referring to the value of something. It is hardly a dime's worth. So worth refers to value, and when you say dime, again it refers to value. So you have used the apostrophe over here. I bought groceries worth of how much value? What's the value over here? 10,000 rupees. So you are referring to the value over here. Therefore, you are going to go with apostrophe s. I have to commute 10 kilometers. Here it is distance. So when you are talking about distance, when you're talking about time, and when you're talking about value, you actually use the apostrophe s to express these expressions. Now the next one is, apostrophe is also used in contractions. Now the ones which we read already or what we learned now were for the possessions, and now we are using the apostrophe to show the contraction as well, like this. Now you can see here, are not. Are is your verb and not is your negative word. When you combine these two, you get aren't. Now what have we done? We have kept the verb intact, and we have removed the letter O, and we have inserted the apostrophe, and the word is now pronounced as aren't. Are not becomes aren't. Similarly, have not becomes haven't. Is not becomes isn't. Am not becomes ain't. Do not becomes don't. Does not becomes doesn't. Has not becomes hasn't. Was not becomes wasn't. So it is a combination of verb and a negative word, and you get a contraction like this. Now the next contraction that we have is between a subject and the verb, that is like this. Well, not be verb. This is your subject and this is your be verb, and you combine it and you get a new word like this. We are becomes we are. I have becomes I've. I had or I would becomes I'd. She is or she has becomes she's. She had or she would becomes she'd. I will becomes I'll. They will becomes they'll. So these are the other usages of contractions, where you can contract a verb with the negative word and the subject with the verb, and you get altogether a new word, and you use the apostrophe to express the contraction. Now let me take you through a quick recap of what we have learned. Apostrophe is used to show possession and contraction. And then the rules, well, the basic rule is, to show possession, the apostrophe is used with an S. All you do is put the apostrophe and use the letter S. But there are a few rules which go against this rule. That is, supposing if you have a noun ending with a letter S already, in that situation you have two options. You can either add the apostrophe and S, or you can just add the apostrophe after the letter S and be done with it. That's one rule. Another rule is when you have plural nouns ending without S. When you have nouns ending with without S like this, you have to apply the basic rule of adding apostrophe and then S. This is when you have nouns like oxen, children, feet, when you do not have the word ending with letter S. But you have certain plural nouns where you have words ending with plural nouns ending with S. In this scenario, you wouldn't add anything except for the apostrophe. So you add just apostrophe and you are good to go. There is no necessity of adding letter S to show the possession. So apostrophe alone will suffice. Compound nouns take the apostrophe S for the last word. Like I told you, compound nouns are the combination of 2 or 3 words. And to show the possession, they take the plus S word at the end. And to show the combined possession or something of something or someone, add the apostrophe to the last noun in the list. When you have 2 or 3 nouns and you have to show the possession, when you have to say that one thing has been owned by all of these people mentioned in the statement, it would only be enough if you add the apostrophe at the last name while you skip the other names in the list. And finally, apostrophe is also used with expression of time, value, distance, and also with contractions. So these are the usages of apostrophe. Now, well, thank you very much for watching. Please do leave your comments below. Do not forget to subscribe, and also do not forget to hit that bell icon to get the notifications about my new upcoming videos. The most important of all is to buy the subscription with the code TA01. Make sure that you are buying the subscription with this code, because you will get extra 10% off discount along with the existing discount. Also, do join our Telegram group for latest updates on our upcoming videos. Well, thank you very much for watching. See you all again soon. Bye-bye.